morning, guys.
Hey, everybody.
So we're headed out today to a local Forest Service road to see if we can get some camping done there. I don't know about you, but I'm actually a little bit nervous because you never know what you're going to get into with Forest Service roads.
Yeah, we actually tried to go to this one once back in the early spring when we were doing the Jeep camping series last spring. And it was like full of snow, there was a bunch of trees down across the road, and we couldn't even get through with the Jeep. So we're hoping, being into fall now, that people have cleared it over summer and we can actually get the RV upwards towards the top of the mountain. That's the plan, at least.
Yeah, so hopefully that all works out. We've got some meals planned and we're gonna go head out there and see what we get into.
Let's get camping. And here we are, home for the night. You can see we're way up the Forest Service road here. Here's Shuswap Lake behind us. We were hoping, like last year when we took it up here in the Jeep, we thought, I'd go a few kilometers up the road and you'll probably find a nice little flat spot. I think we must have went up this Forest Service road almost 10 kilometers. And it was like pretty steep with switchbacks, so we're pretty glad we actually found a spot we can park and camp at that's decently level with the view at least. We're getting a little worried, 'cause I think we're getting near the top of this hill, but check it out in the drone in a little bit and see what we see in the area, but pretty good overall, I'll say. Little camping spot, and we actually made it. Now to settle in and make it officially home. In the back of the RV, it's a little bit unlevel here. I put some water in the frying pan just to kind of see how much of a flow it would go, and definitely unlevel. I also used the parking brake. We don't normally use that very much because we're relatively level everywhere we go, but this seems like one of the spots where you would want to use your parking brake, so make sure you use that when you're on a big hill. And now we're going to take in beautiful lake views.
Alrighty, so since we're out here enjoying some camping this weekend, I figured it would be a good time to pick up my paint again. I haven't painted in a while, honestly, and I'm trying to paint this like mountain, lake, tree situation. I've got a picture on my phone to use as reference, and it's a little bit ambitious, but let's see how it turns out here. It's actually like getting close to when I should start making dinner, so we'll see how far I get before I stop to make dinner, but wish me luck. Okay, so I managed to kind of block some colors in there in the sky and the mountains, and I know what you're thinking, it looks bad, and trust me, I know. But the thing is with painting, at least what I've found and my kind of experience with it, is you kind of have to get a rough draft down and like kind of the first couple colors that you see in the picture and kind of block it in roughly. Nothing's perfect, I know, but this is always a spot where I give up because I step back and I look and I go, what the heck, like this looks terrible. But from here on out, where I've blocked in at least, I still have to block in the rest of the picture, but it's all about refinement after this, and that is where I almost never get to because I just look at this and think, what have I done? But I'm not gonna give up this time. We're gonna refine the painting after dinner and we're gonna see what happens, and I might not finish tonight, but I will finish, and even if it doesn't turn out good, I will finish, I promise. So we're gonna take a break from painting and start making dinner. I've got plans to make some gnocchi, So we're gonna start making the dough and then rolling it out and making the actual gnocchi and then make the actual dish. And it's a little tedious, but honestly it's so worth it. Homemade gnocchi is so good. So let's get to it. Okay, so to make the potato gnocchi, you actually only need 3 ingredients, which is awesome because it just makes it super easy. So we've got an egg, some flour, and the potatoes. So these are some leftover potatoes that we have. They were just baked. It's better if you bake them instead of boiling them because they stay a little bit drier, which helps make the dough not so gummy and makes them more fluffy and nice. So yeah, really easy recipe. So I got 1 egg, 2 potatoes, and I'm gonna use, the flour just depends on your potatoes, the size of your potatoes, and the size of your egg and all that kind of stuff, but roughly 3/4 of a cup of flour. So we're gonna whip that together and then we're ready to roll it out. So in a perfect world, you'd be mashing your potatoes with a potato masher, or even better, a potato ricer, or really a lot of other things than a fork. But when you're in the RV, you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, so potatoes are mashed as well as I could get them mashed with a fork, at least in this tiny bowl. So we're gonna add that to our egg, and then to the rest of this, we're gonna add our 3/4 of a cup-ish of flour. I'm actually gonna stop just short of 3/4 of a cup, just in case I don't actually need it all. And also, we're gonna add a bit of salt and pepper, of course. And then at this point too, you can actually flavor your gnocchi with whatever you want, whether it's like Italian herbs or garlic, cheese. You could add Parmesan to this, that'll be so good. But we're just keeping it simple today, and we're gonna do a plain gnocchi. And the trick to this is you wanna mash your potatoes as much as possible before adding it to the flour, because once the flour's in here, you don't want to overmix it. So of course you wanna mix it enough so everything's incorporated and it becomes a ball of dough, but you don't want to keep mixing it because then your gnocchi will turn out tough and not pillowy and soft and how they're supposed to be. Okay, so that is looking a little bit sticky still, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more flour, mix it around, and it should be good. This is looking good. It's still obviously a little bit sticky, but I'm gonna err on the side of a little sticky than too dry because we're gonna roll it out in flour as well, so we don't want it to get too dry. Okay, and now I'm just going to knead this a couple times just to get everything incorporated and make it a smooth ball. Okay, so we're not over mixing, we're not over kneading. This looks perfect. It's still a little bit tacky and like my hands are a little sticky, but like I said, better to err on the little bit of sticky side. What we gotta do now is roll this out into little logs and then cut them into little pillows. So I'm just gonna wrap whatever we're not using right away in some plastic wrap just so it doesn't dry out, and we'll start off with our first log.
While Alysha's been painting and now cooking up a storm, I was reading my bushcraft book a little bit that I got in Nanaimo, and I also started walking around outside because being up in the mountains in a Forest Service road, I might want to find there's been a few trees that have come down, and I may want to cut off a few blocks of wood that'll be a bit thicker that I can get carving over the next few weekends of camping. I want to start carving a few little trinkets, if you will, so get back into that now that I have my carving knives from back home. And then also next weekend, we haven't mentioned it yet, but we managed to book a campsite at Snow Forest Campground in Mount Revelstoke National Park. It's actually the newest national park campground in all of Canada. So we're gonna go check that out next weekend as well. But anyway, we're gonna dig into the salad here, and we're gonna have that as a little appetizer, and then it's gnocchi and bratwurst time. Woo, eating good tonight.
Alrighty, so we got the sausages cooking away here, and the water is boiling, so we're ready to throw our gnocchi in. And these literally just take probably 2 minutes in here. As soon as they start floating, you know they're done, and you drain them right away. Okay, so the sausage is out of the frying pan now, and with all of these like juices and caramelized bits in here, we're gonna add some garlic butter.
Ooh.
And this isn't necessary at all really, but I like to do it and it's always delicious. But I like to kind of toast my gnocchi up and fry them in some garlic butter, or any butter really. And it just kind of gets some golden brown on the outside, gives a nice flavor. It's gonna be really tasty. So since I'm making the sauce in this pan afterwards still, I'm gonna be toasting off the gnocchi first, setting it aside, making the sauce, adding the veggies, adding the sausage, then adding the gnocchi back in here. Okay, so now in this pan I've added some more garlic butter because we're going to be whipping up a quick little, what's the sauce? Alfredo sauce. So I'm just adding butter, then we're going to add some flour to make the roux, add the milk, add the parm, add the salt and pepper, and it'll be a nice little sauce for our gnocchi and sausage.
Yum.
Pretty. There you are.
Thank you. Delicious as per usual. Sausage, gnocchi, and she put frozen snow peas in. Dang.
Those are just regular peas, not snow peas.
Mmm. Still really good.
Passes the test.
Yeah, for RV meals especially, like this is gourmet in a house, let alone in an RV. It looks just so good and it makes it look so simple. You might have to try it at home yourself, guys. It's super warm inside the RV from all that cooking, of course, too, so we've busted out our blue chair, and you figure if it's sunset hour right now anyways, might as well take in this beautiful sunset overlooking that lake view. Dang, like, super rough road to get here, of course, but for free camping slash boondocking, and just having no one around you and just this view of the lake to yourself, pretty fun. And hello again, it's the morning. Look at what we woke up to. RV? That should be a view of the lake. You can kind of see it down there, but we're completely smoked in. I guess Washington, Oregon, and California all have some big fires going on right now. And I'm sure glad BC's doing well this year at least. I don't think we have any big ones to report. The year me and Alysha got married, there was actually so many. And I gotta say, the smoke was quite a bit worse than this even, I think, when we lived in the Okanagan. But dang. It is super heavy and the RV just reeks of smoke. Another bummer to that is, yesterday I didn't get the drone in the air. I helped Alysha film during dinner and I spent time with her, and then we ate dinner and caught the sunset, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna drone in the morning. I'm sure it'll be a nice blue sunny day like the last week's been. Smoke! I didn't expect smoke on the forecast. So I'm hoping it clears up before we head out of here. We're gonna have a little bit of breakfast in a bit, but I'm gonna go for a little walk quick here because one thing we noticed yesterday that's kind of cool about this little boondocking free camping site is it's a really popular spot for mountain bikers. We saw mountain bikers, some of them even biking up the road, but most of them drove to the top. And then there's a path they take all the way down, and there's actually a ramp over there even that looks pretty cool. So I'm Gonna go for a bit of a walk here and check that out real quick. Ooh, that's steep. Dang, this is quite the cool little trail. This is only like maybe 15 minutes outside of Salmon Arm, so super close to where we grew up in the area, and I had no idea this was even here. It's kind of cool how much the BC Parks and the BC Recreation Forest Services actually do for the outdoorsy community, if you will. I mean, there's no recreation camping sites here, but this trail runs all the way down to the lake, and it goes even higher up the mountain than we are. I can see the RV over in the distance here even, and I took the kind of longer way than running through the clear cut, but pretty cool. Over at the sunset when we were watching it last night before going to bed, you can actually see mountain bikers still doing the run at nighttime bombing down the hill here, so had to get over here and check it out quick at least. Out on my walk there were so many moths as well. I just googled it back at the RV and it looks like it's at every 10 to maybe 30 year occurrence. There can be a large outbreak of just moths in the area. It said the lower mainland had a whole bunch, but then we have a whole crazy amount here in the BC interior as well. And even in the residential area of Salmon Arm, there's quite a few flying around and on the lawns and everything. It's kind of different. I don't know. Leave a comment down below maybe if you guys have a whole bunch of these moths in your area as well. It said they might not see this many moths again until 2040. So it's quite the rare occurrence apparently. Anyway, gonna jump inside and get some breakfast officially now here. And then we'll go from there, friends.
Alright, so for breakfast this morning, we had originally planned to make some overnight oats because they're just so dang tasty and so easy because you just make them the night before, set them in the fridge overnight, and they're ready to eat in the morning. But we forgot that we are using our mason jars in the fridge still for some pickled onions and jam and stuff, so we didn't want to get rid of those, so we're just going to make some regular oats this morning, some brown sugar and maple oatmeal with some bananas. Should be pretty tasty, so let's get cracking.
So we're basically all packed up in the RV after enjoying that yummy breakfast made by Alysha, but it was a nice little one-night small trip to get away from town at least for a bit and get up into this beautiful view we had yesterday at least.
Yeah, it's time for me to get back and get ready to go back to work tomorrow. It's been really busy, like getting back into work and still having YouTube and everything, but
yeah,
I don't know, it's been kind of nice in a way to get back to normal life, but I'm sure that's gonna wear off very, very quickly here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is what it is.
With that all being said though, next weekend, we had mentioned it before, but we have 2 nights booked at Mount Revelstoke National Park at the new campground there. This campground opened up July 15th, so in the summer of 2020 here. So there should be a whole lot to check out there. Brand new, we'll see how new the facilities looked. All the pictures look super cool at least, so we'll see how Canada's newest national park campground looks at least. And it's a beautiful drive out to Revelstoke and getting up in the mountains again too, so we're looking forward to that, and it should be a little bit more exciting than a local camping trip at least.
Yeah, and I'll actually have to resume my painting there next weekend at Mount Revelstoke because I didn't get back to last night or this morning doing some more painting, but we'll resume it then, I promise, and that painting will get finished.
But with that all being said here then, friends, I hope you enjoyed this kind of smaller, just one little night getaway we did here. We wanted to get into something at least and share it with you still, of course, so otherwise we will see you at Mount Revelstoke National Park next weekend here. Thank you all for tuning in. Leave a like if you enjoyed us, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.
See ya.